I don't know.
You can't let Bob solo.
Do you know, Randy, exactly what the count is on how many drain lives and corrupts he has remaining? We got our man on the floor, Scott Johns, that's going to check that.
Does he start 4 and 4?
Let's take a look.
I'm pretty
he
sure
starts 4 corrupt and 4 drain life, so yeah, he's got the full complement.
He's used up 2 corrupts, and I want to say 3 drains. It might only be 2 drains, so I'm not sure if he's cast 2 drains or 3 drains over the course of the game.
Oh my lord! Jeez, this is insane.
What the? Bob casually flips that onto the table. What just happened?
Go.
He has 1 disc left in his deck and 2 Skittering Scourges. We'd like to remind the crowd that the players are within distant hearing range, and they were able to hear that outburst. So I understand, but try to keep it a little quiet. Yeah, there were indeed 3 drain lives in Brian's graveyard. So he has 1 drain and 2 corrupts left in his deck, but those aren't going to do anything unless he comes up with the 1 remaining disc. Meanwhile, the 2 Skittering Scourges can win in the game, even while Ivory Mask is on the table.
I am just stunned at the developments of this game.
Look at the Bob's go-ahead hand gesture. So much more confident now than it was at the beginning.
There's a reason for that.
It's just interesting how the momentum is so visibly slow.
Yeah.
And if they really could hear our scream, that has to affect Brian Davis.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he knows.
Did that wasteland alter the course of this game? I think it did.
Yeah, I mean, Davis would have...
It was huge.
Bob would be at 6, and Brian would be at 8, plus he would have necroed for a bunch more.
Potentially this game could be over. It's amazing, really.
And this game has now been turned around by a Mercadian Masks card. That set's great. Did I say that when it came out? There's the beatdown. What's Brian's
some
life total?
offense.
And Brian does have spin in his hand.
Yeah, it is. So this game could take a while, though. If Bob draws an oath, he'll be in real good shape. Then,
he's going to let the Fairy Conclave get spun. So he can then cast Spike Feeder?
That's always landed.
That's cute.
That's a good play. That's a good play.
Another ritual.
So
Still
Davis really needs to find that Skittering Scourge, get it on board, and start
attacking.
attacking.
Consult for it?
I think he should, but maybe he's afraid.
All right, so now I understand being conservative if you think you've got the game won anyway, but he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in serious trouble. I personally would consult, give it the best shot. I don't know what the math is based upon how many cards he's got in his deck, but if he has more than about 16 or 17 cards, he should definitely consult.
I think he's got like 30.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure what's
he
keeping
hasn't
him
used
from
a
consulting.
He hasn't used a single consult this game. He's got like half his library left.
Yeah, I honestly
he should
think
consult for one of the 2 Scourges and just hope he's got, because as soon as Bob draws into permission, even that plan won't work.
Right. Well, I mean, he can unmask and he can do some things, but he's just giving Bob a lot of draw phases to draw into stuff he needs. And for instance, he's going to have to use a Contagion on this Spike Feeder.
Or he's got another spin, I think.
Or a spin. You probably would want to use Contagion because there's no way the spin would gain him any life.
True. Of course, you might as well wait for Bob to draw a card to give Bob the opportunity to draw Counterspell, right?
Yeah, I think he probably wants to get the counter magic out of his hand. Although, I mean, Davis needs to really get on Skittering Scourge quick here. I think before he was thinking so much about, wow, Swords to Plowshares, that's an awesome draw. It'll probably,
It'll get unmasked.
Yeah, it will get unmasked, but
he can't yes.
Unmasked targets a player. You're right.
Plow is permanent in Bob's hand. Now only the second Skittering Scourge or the second disc can win the game.
So if he had consulted earlier, he'd be in a lot better shape.
If he'd consulted 4 turns ago, as soon as Ivory Mask hit the table, Bob would be dead.
Right. I think part of the reason why he might have made that error, and he hasn't made very many, so it's peculiar, but I think the reason why he made that error is because in this game he was probably thinking the creatures don't matter. I'm playing its Oath of Druids.
Right.
I don't want to put creatures on the table. And now he had to rely on getting a creature on the board to do some damage to Maher.
Mm-hmm. He's not playing against an Oath of Druids deck right now. He's playing against an Ivory Mask deck.
Right.
If you look at Bob's main deck only has 2 Oath of Druids.
Right. I mean,
it's like he has 6 Oaths and 5 Ivory Masks.
Right. The scary thing he's probably thinking is that if he consults, he'd lose the disc, possibly. Or if he consults for the disc, he might lose the Scourges. And if he loses one or the other, his chances of winning reduce significantly. And certainly, if
do they reduce to less than they are? When
yeah, I
he
agree. He should have consulted earlier. But now I think he's
only 2 in the main. He only has 2 Nevinyr's discs in his main deck. And he's already used one of them this game. So he's got 1 disc left in his main deck, if my memories of his deck list is correct. I'll double check that. Yeah, there are 2 Nevinyr's discs in his main deck. The other 2 are in the sideboard, along with some Dystopias, which can also remove Ivory Mask.
Oh,
eventually.
big pull. That's a disc. That's a disc.
Yeah, obviously his play was correct all along. Maybe there's some Scandinavian blood coursing through his veins. You can just see what was 4 cards down.
Okay.
Confidently lays the disc. Bob, okay.
Oh, we know
Wow,
Bob
the last disc.
can't disenchant it because the Aura Silence is still in the graveyard.
Right. He
So
can draw Guy's Blessing it
that's a
back
disc.
in, and get it as the cantrip card.
Latent Tutor.
But he can get no.
Oh!
But he can get no rod.
Scoop